after 8. You lost
Hey!
that.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of Old Reader and New Reader. We
Oh,
have a
sorry.
special guest today, the wonderful Melanie,
Oh,
Oh.
hey!
Astonishing Melanie.
the astonishing
Hey.
Melanie.
The wonderful Melanie. The wonderful Omar.
You're not a special
Oh,
guest.
Look
You're
at
on here all
their
the time.
cute. Everyone, I hope you all knows that they have really cute matching couples T-shirts.
Like our first match.
today.
I remember the first thing I did was look for Wolverine over here, and I'm like, there's no Wolverine.
These were half off, okay?
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
So you could afford that.
Yes. My hands look like this, so I can afford this. Okay, so we got the Silver Surfer Omnibus by Dan Slott and Mike Allred. It was released in 2018, November 2018. It's one of the fastest selling going out of print omnis in a long time. It went out of print in, I want to say, less than a year.
Wow.
And it is currently out of print, but you can read them on, I think, the Marvel app, Comixology, and trade paperback format. And we're going to be talking about spoilers in this, so everybody is warned. I
Philip
hope.
is saying echo.
Echo. Oh, is there an
Wait,
echo?
but that's
Is there an echo on your end, Philip?
I don't hear one.
We don't
know.
hear one. That's
Does
well,
anybody
it's
else hear
saying-
one?
It's saying 803, 804 as the timestamp. So, and we started at 805. No, we didn't. I don't know. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, let us know if there's
Saying-
any echo. Uncanny X-Force is still not out of print. It comes back into print, or I'm sorry, it will come back early July, mid-July for the second stock. So, okay, Leah's saying no echo, and I trust anybody with that name. So,
I wonder if that's Miley or a different Lee. I don't know.
Jim Lee. But I still love you, Philip. Still love
yes,
you.
we still love you,
Hi,
Philip.
DBZ All-Star.
Oh, what's up, man? So, yes, there is going to be talk of spoilers, and I don't want to ruin this for anybody, so y'all know the drill by now, I hope.
If
Do not
No,
let the dog
no.
outside.
you
Sorry.
want to be spoiled, then follow along. If you don't, you might want to wait and come back after you've read the omnibus. So,
Or the trade paperback, or
however you-
I will say that, with this book, unlike some of the other books we talk about, I feel like even though we will touch upon some of the spoilers, I don't think that's going to detract from your enjoyment of the reading at all.
Not at all.
So if you're coming into this video and you haven't yet read this book, I think there's a lot of content in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rich, and there's nothing that we could say in this hour that would really, I think, ruin your experience of it.
no.
Michael, stop. Every time.
So verb for specific now.
You think you can do that?
There's this guy. That's generic,
All right. So let's
Does
go
things.
ahead and dive in, so we can all talk about the special moments we liked, and then we can all talk about that ending. This is, by the way, if you're a fan of Doctor Who, this is the most Doctor Who comic I have ever read in my
100%.
life.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
It feels so different from a lot of, Marvel things I've read, even having read a lot of Cosmic Saga, just because you really don't spend time with a lot of the other Marvel characters, but I think I really like that. It wasn't what I was expecting, especially with what little experience I have with Silver Surfer, having, read about him in other, big events. It was really refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
This whole book was just so refreshing. Just this nice, wonderful, romantic space epic. And it was just really, it was pleasant. I was like, this is just, I think with everything going on everywhere, this was just such a nice little pleasant break
Yeah. That's
from
a good
everything to
way
dig
put it.
into.
I really expected it to be so existential because that's how I envisioned the Silver Surfer, just from the little I've seen of him. And so this is not anything what I expected.
Oh, yeah.
There was so much humor in it, and just, not almost a goofiness factor that was endearing. It wasn't like a bad goofy. It was an endearing goofy. And that, I think, has a lot to do with the way Michael Allred drew as well. Especially a lot of the different aliens that we see within the pages of this comic. Because there's quite some interesting character designs, I'd have to say that. And some really interesting storylines. And, yeah, very interesting.
what the story is it kicks off in a really cool way. It's a flashback to the Fantastic Four coming of Galactus, where you see Silver Surfer coming to Earth, and he's like, "Oh, this planet looks really good for my master Galactus," right? That storyline. And then from Dawn's point of view, so we're introduced to the character of Dawn Greenwood, who lives in Anchor Bay with her family, her twin sister and her dad. And they
I argue that she's the main character.
You don't have to argue.
Also, not to so real quick, at this moment when she first shows up, she's got like these twin pigtails, right? And she's got this like ladybug dress. She looks dead on like Miraculous Ladybug. And I was like,
yes.
Maybe that's why I refused
what is this?
for so long. So there she is with her twin sister, and this falling star happens to be Silver Surfer. Of course, because we're talking about comic book chronologically order and time, this is 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. Even though realistically it was 1962 or 3. But it's and then we fast forward to now where she's older and the Silver Surfer gets wrapped up in this business where somebody says, "Hey, you have to help us." And I just gotta show this wonderful. From time to time, I'm just showing beautiful freaking artwork by Mike Allred and his wife Laura Allred.
Yes.
Who Mike is of course known for Madman, and he did this really cool run on X-Force and Ecstatics with Peter Milligan. But his art has always been really poppy, and I think I described it when I did an overview of the Omnibus as it almost takes us back to like that 60s era of innocence, like in the artwork. There's no overtone super muscular men or over sexualized women. Like it's really interesting, and it takes a while because it's not for everybody. His art style is not for everybody. So,
but I feel like it suited this. Because I was going through, I was like, I really, really enjoy this. And when I see him illustrate other superheroes that we run into, I don't like that. Usually I'm like, oh, ooh. But his art, I think if I saw it somewhere else, I wouldn't like it as much. But I think it very much lent itself to this story somehow. And the colors. Oh my, how fun were all the colors this whole time? Yeah. Like just Laura's... the coloring throughout this was so beautiful and fun and like psychedelic. Yeah, exactly, Justin. Just
looking at the Never Queen, right? That's oh my gosh.
What a babe.
Yeah, what a babe. Eternity's one lucky dude. Or being.
Yeah. That's where I was going with that. But so he kind of gets tricked into helping these people by saying, "Hey, we are holding hostage the most important person in your life." So in his head, he's like, "Who do they have? They have Alicia Masters," and it doesn't matter. He was going to help out, right? Silver Surfer was going to help out. So he ends up showing him Dawn Greenwood, who you're like everybody else is like, who?
And he's like, "Who's that?"
I don't know who this person is, but they were like, "This is the most important person in your past, in your future, and your present." And he's like, "Who is this?" So he takes her back home, and then on the way home, they go through different space adventures. Something happens at home where they go back out to, I guess, the galaxy and explore it. And eventually, these two, kind of like the Doctor and some of his female companions, kind of fall in love.
Yeah.
Right? Like she's crushing
They're allowed
on him.
to be in love on this one.
Well, I mean, right? You would. He's almost timeless,
sorry,
right?
I can't stop laughing at this comment.
Me too.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I just needed to.
That's okay. What's up, Peter? So that's pretty much the story. And together they fall in love, go on different adventures. We get a lot of little cameos from some Marvel Now characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy, some of the Avengers. There's a really cool reunion with the Defenders.
On the back.
Alicia Masters gets a little cameo, which there's a really
Loved that part. That was so cute. Part? What you were just talking about.
Oh, with Alicia Masters. Yeah. I mean, because I think there's a one line that Dawn says throughout her time with Silver Surfer, she ends up meeting Alicia Masters, which there's not like there's clearly a special relationship between Silver Surfer and her, and then his ex-girlfriend from Zenla comes out, and she's like, who are all these people?
Oh, his wife. That was his wife.
Lying to me? Like, are you even Silver? Do you even surf? Like, she says something like that, and I was like, oh my gosh. But
even betrayed by Toomey.
Yeah, Toomey.
Like, what the hell, Toomey? You told me nothing about that.
I know. And Toomey, I love Toomey because it's so funny. Like, she thinks that's its name just because he's like, bored to me. And it's just, it's very clever. Yeah, yes, it's very clever on Dan Slott's part. And it's interesting with Dawn because from the very beginning, she's the character who loves her home and never wants to leave her home. And then to see her in the first story, which is on Impericon, she just takes charge. She sees all these random aliens. She's far away from home for the first time in her life. And she's like, all right, we're going to save ourselves. And that's kind of how the two of them end up meeting. So, of course, no wonder he's drawn to her. And she to him because, well, he's Norn Rad. When he takes off the silver, he's a pretty attractive dude.
I think so. I wish.
I mean, he was.
I think he's more attractive silver.
Oh, I liked him. I liked him in silver now. But I mean, when he's silver,
we'll take a poll in the chat when this is over.
Who thinks?
Omar, would I think you're more handsome, silver or non?
None. I'd rather be breathing. And I was just looking through some of the artwork to highlight from the Allreds because they are just wonderful and really fit this story.
Oh, wait. Michael said,
I can't leave it up too long.
Okay. Amanda, Michael said that you love Toomey because he's skinny as Tom Holland.
No, you mean Norn Rad, not Toomey. Norn Rad.
Oh, you did say you like Toomey.
Or Tom Hiddleston. Well, I think Toomey's a cute board, but I mean, he's a little. It's like the TARDIS. Said it earlier in the chat. It's like the TARDIS with personality, except we actually get to see like the physical version of its personality in the reflection, right? Always echoing back Dawn in a way. So I thought that was a really good way of showing within the comic, because obviously it's not like a live action, to show the board's personality.
And they did a good job.
They did a really good job.
I was really surprised. I mean, I knew nothing about his board before this, and I was just like, well, I'm the cute little mascot character of this. I'm like, that's not what I was expecting.
Again, I had not anything what I was expecting with Silver Surfer. But yeah, there were some really good stories in this comic. And of course, it has a really interesting ending, which we'll talk about. And it's very Doctor Who-y, timey-wimey, the whole thing. And I love that it does that. Like, so, yes.
And there's an explicit part of that, too, that's very much like something that happens in Doctor Who.
Yes, I know.
Which I was like, man, this is just...
And my wife did not
great.
like it.
I hated those episodes. I hate it. Not fair. Hate it.
Yes.
So
I know.
I'm gonna highlight myself, and I'm gonna show my favorite part that I think can only be read on physical media, because the digital version of this just doesn't do it justice. And as a matter of fact, the omnibus doesn't really do it justice, because the way the original comic did it, it was a giant size folder.
Yeah,
that's what I was telling you about. Yeah.
And I'm talking about, of course, the Eisner winner, issue 11, and that is the Never After.
Here, do I need to help you hold this thing?
So it's this really cool story. Melanie, you can tell the story as I showcase some of the art.
Oh, okay. So, as timey-wimey does, you get stuck in a time loop sometimes. So when you're reading, you have to read the bottom section of their adventures or trying to escape, the enemy that's shooting at them. Then when you get done, you have to go back and read flip it over, read the top.
So you flip it over.
It comes in a curve. That's what guides you. Okay, go back, read that curve until, from the way the panel's laid out, that you can tell, okay, we're done. This is back to the beginning.
So
go.
The panels guide you on how to read it. It's a really cool way of doing a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to follow, because there are times where the time stream starts crossing, such as this.
You have to go over it. That has been a lot of fun to do. There was a picture of this layout, laid out in his hallway, in Dan Slott's hallway is what it said, I think. That must have been a lot of fun or maybe it was the Allreds. I don't know.
I really wish
somebody's hallway.
I really wish they would
That's
print
awesome.
a version of this in the maybe when they reprint the omnibus in that format where you can fold
Yeah.
it out in your room. It would be so freaking cool.
That would be
And I'll
really
eat
cool.
dinner while I'm reading it.
Don't touch
Yeah.
my
And see, the digital version is not that cool and made it a little bit more difficult to read that
Oh, yeah.
issue. It was a little
Right.
bit more
Yeah,
difficult
yeah.
to
It's
read
a
it.
little harder to catch on right away. Like, wait,
Yes.
what?
I was like, am I
Oh.
reading? Is it a messed up digital version? Or am I rereading
Yeah.
the same thing? And I was like, oh, they're in a time loop. Crap. Thank you.
Oh, but it's so cool to read that physically. Like
Yes,
just the
it
way
looks
that
like it would be
you
much
can
better.
follow the
physically.
artwork
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
So this is one of those stories that was also kind of stopped, even though the story continues with Secret Wars, and then it became part of the
Yep.
all new Marvel stuff. So there was a little Secret Wars, and then we had a second ongoing series to wrap up his issues. So what are some of your all's favorite stories? Melanie or Amanda, Madddie?
So one of my favorite stories is definitely when they ended up on the New Haven planet and found all of the survivors of they're sole survivors of each planet that Galactus had devoured.
Oh yeah.
So for Silver Surfer, this is a big deal, and it's also a big deal in his relationship with Dawn, because she didn't really know this part of him, that he was his former herald. She didn't really quite understand what that meant until this issue. And of course, Galactus followed his trail and shows up at this New Haven planet where all these people are like the last of their kinds, essentially. And he ends up destroying their planet, but only after Dawn tries to sacrifice herself the same way that Norn did back on Zenlaw, which is saying, take me as your herald, and save my planet or leave my planet alone. But of course, Norn can't let her do that. And they end up, and that's where you get the time loop, because they end up being the herald, or being the herald for all of these survivors, like billions of them, 66.6 billion or whatever survivors, to find a new planet. And then they end up on that beautiful planet of Euphoria. But that whole section between her finding out and then her having to forgive him or let go of how she feels about his past for them to move forward. And then they have this beautiful, just kind of love affair on Euphoria, and they wake up together all sexy all the time.
All sexy
all the time. This is the
She
Cinemax
does her hair
version of
fall
Silver Surfer.
So I do love that story. That is a wonderful arc right there within the comic.
Yeah, that was really developmental for the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the opposite. I really enjoyed, I think, the beginning. I guess if I had to pick favorites, I liked it all.
Mm-hmm.
But I just really liked when he came to Earth and how the family reacted.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
everything's cool. And then Dawn definitely became one of my favorite female characters when she was like, "You're so rude, Silver Surfer, Norn Rad."
Norn rude.
Apologize. She has the chance to go on adventures. She's in a room no, you better apologize. You're rude. Goodbye. Love it.
One of my favorite things she says to her is when he's telling her, I'm the Silver Surfer, and he was like, how could you not know who I am? The Fantastic Four. She's like, yeah, I don't really hang out with people that talk about superheroes. And I feel like that's like walking and talking to people that don't read comic books.
I'm pretty sure.
Things.
I am pretty sure that's a nod to that kind of.
Yeah, which makes them such a wonderful couple too, because they just
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it works.
they're
right?
so different.
If I'm gonna cheat, I'll pick a favorite issue. We are on Sailors on an Endless Night.
What issue is that?
Because that is the first time, that's issue 7.
Okay.
Or at least that I can remember, it's the first time that Norn Rad's really admitting his deep love for her. Reminds me of a fanfic, Amanda, where you've got your character and you see them all being, all torn apart and open and honest with their emotions. And you're like, oh, I'm living vicariously through this.
I know,
yeah.
right?
So
I am?
I am.
Okay.
So yeah, I like the beginning of their love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
What
what,
did you think, Madddie?
what was your favorite, Maddy?
It's so hard to pick one because it's all really, really good. Like, there's so many
is.
moments that I really loved. Like, you know, at one point she's gone and she comes back a little bit late to home, and like her sister's already had her baby,
I
and
know.
her
I
father's
hate that. I
her
hate
father's
that.
passed away, and it's devastating. But like she kind of like breaks down following
Yes.
that, and you know they return to that planet, and the planet kind of takes like is able to kind of morph into people of their past.
Yeah.
And so, like, the planet, like, will, like, transform into her dad so she can spend time with him
Exactly.
and kind of, like, while her mind is sort of healing. And she's in this broken state, and the Silver Surfer's like, well, if this is what she needs, and she needs to stay here, I'll stay here. And she
Yeah.
eventually snaps out of it, but basically just because she's like, you know, you were willing to make the biggest sacrifice for me, because your biggest fear is just being stuck in one place.
Exactly.
You know, and I mean, the man gets tired just being on Earth for like 2 days. Like, he's like, "Are we gonna stay here while she's like the whole pregnancy? Are you serious?" She's like, "Yes." He's like, "You know, I'm already bored," and she like tries to introduce Earth because I've seen everything. She's like, "You haven't met this seal in particular." You know, it's
Well, yeah.
and I also loved that part where they got separated across space and
Yes.
eternity
Oh,
brought them
God.
together. Because they were separate, they couldn't even feel each other. Like he could usually sense her,
Yeah.
and they just couldn't. He's like, "What am I gonna do? I can't find her at all." And Turner's like, "Okay, just this once," and he moves all of space to bring the two areas where they are together. I thought that was really cute. It's this whole thing is so just like
Adorable.
mushy. Yeah, I ate this shit up.
I didn't think Silver Surfer was going to be a love story kind of guy.
Me neither.
I mean,
well, I remember we had a question on live or something about a guy who was like, I'm looking to get my girlfriend or wife into comic books. What should I recommend to her? And Omar said Silver Surfer by Dan Slott. I was like, what? I was like,
you're
no.
like, it's Silver Surfer.
I get it.
I cried at the end.
I cried.
I absolutely get it.
Cried at the end.
How could you not
Like-
cry?
I don't know.
Who did I marry?
I think I knew it was coming.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't.
I cried, and I'm like, okay.
I just wanted to share this. This is the scene that Madddie was talking about.
Yes.
How cute are
I
they?
love Eternal.
So
Oh yeah,
cute.
no one Rad like yelled, "You owe me one."
Yes.
Like, man, these two are so cute. Like, this might end up being my favorite Marvel couple.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I think
Well,
it
she
will.
actually- A great character, and she without her this comic wouldn't have made like
No,
He really
he
did.
needed some sassy girl to like.
he knows how to write a strong female character. Let me tell you what.
She's so much fun.
She was so much fun, and the whole thing, like their tale it's so bittersweet because it is, and I felt like at the end of it, and I don't know, we're going to talk about the end, but at the end of it, I felt like a really deep sorrow, but at the same time, it also made me happy. So that's why I say it's very bittersweet, because I felt like a really a huge loss for him and also her, because I was like, but yeah, I don't know when we're going to talk about the end, so I don't want to say.
You know, they got to live a beautiful life together.
They
Whereas
did.
otherwise, he may not have been able to do that.
It's true.
Let's talk about that, because when you think of Silver Surfer, for anybody that has ever read like Stan Lee's run on Silver Surfer, which is, by the way, phenomenal, or Parable, or all these classic Silver Surfer stories by Jim Starlin, Silver Surfer's always kind of written like the broody, philosophical kind of character.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to figure out humanity.
Existential crisis.
He's trying to figure out humanity, and then trying to figure out what to do with himself, right? Because I mean, he made the ultimate sacrifice of giving his life up so his planet could live to Galactus and become his herald. So there's all this inner turmoil with him. In this, I remember talking to you about this. Like, he's just kind of like the secondary character that.
He just reacts to Dawn.
Yeah, that's
It's-
pretty much
yeah.
what he does in this story, and it works. And it works so well because at first he's kind of, the way that the Dan Slott wrote this, like towards the beginning, it's kind of like that brooding Silver Surfer I was
Well,
talking
he's just
about.
kind of like a rigid,
Changes.
awkward nerd a little bit.
Very
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It was, is kind of typical of like, I'm an alien from someplace else and I don't know how to act,
Yeah.
And I like that
We've had
about
a
him.
water
He's just
scenario
like
all the time.
that. Like when he can't leave Earth, he comes back to go get her, and he's like, "To me, Dawn," and she's like, "What?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The brood. I'm not going anywhere with you. Call me on the board.
You can't." Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. He's so just.
I think I would
God.
go for, except for me, I'd be like, yes, sir. I wouldn't stand my
Let's
ground.
go.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
It's a Norrin Red.
Oh yeah, we have this thing like if the doctor showed up, like we would kill each other because we're not sharing as companions.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
Like,
You're
I
not.
would kill-
You're not going with the
That's
doctor.
only one.
I'm going with the doctor. So
My
the-
husband would not be interested, so he'd be like, "Well, bye. I guess you gotta
Yeah,
go."
neither would my husband, so I can go with him.
So the story takes us toward where yes, her father dies. She misses that because they were on a space adventure. She misses the birth of her nephew. Was it nephew or niece? I can't remember. Nephew, maybe. But so she's asking, Norrin Rad, like, let's travel back in time. Maybe I can see my dad. And things don't go right because it's a comic book, and they get
Because you don't go back in time to see people.
No.
yeah.
When does it ever work?
Back to the Future 3. So anyway,
That's true.
they go back towards like the Big Bang. So before Galactus himself becomes Galactus.
By
As a matter of
accident.
fact, there's a really cool part here where Galactus kind of helps before becoming Galactus. So, what are you doing?
No, I'm just keep talking. I'm talking to chat.
There's a lot of good comments in there. I know. I like the Phil Owens. They were on a break because somebody talked about, or Phil said they didn't tell Baldo's new
shout out
squeeze.
poor girl.
They're on a break.
Yeah.
So we see them live out their lives, right? Like we see him with her, and they get older. Except he doesn't, right? There's this beautiful moment where I don't know how you didn't tear up at this, where he's telling her, what?
Maybe because it's 2020. Go ahead.
Okay. Here, let me just share this with you. Fuck it, if we get YouTube to.
Somebody
Yeah.
warned me about that, yo.
This is how I
Yeah,
live.
we go through it every time.
So you have this beautiful moment where he's lying to her about getting old because she knows that he's lying. She knows that he's been faking
power
getting
cosmic
old with
inside
her,
of it.
right?
Yeah.
And he asks her, "Do you have any regrets?" And she has this flashback of all the adventures she went.
Oh, that was
now you're
beautiful.
tearing up. No, I'm not tearing up. I'm like,
They even had Plorp. Even Plorp is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Plorp and Toomey. Oh man! And then of course she passes, and the reflection that we see on the surfboard fades away as well.
Yep.
Oh man!
And then it
Yeah.
doesn't work anymore, does it? I mean, the reflection.
Well, because it doesn't really, it doesn't interact anymore
Yeah,
with so I think that was a big thing. Because I think even for Toomey, that was kind of like a grieving for him. But what's really cool about the ending is, so he ends up transferring Dawn's energy.
And this gets into the clone thing that you don't really like that much, but it has to happen.
Why?
Yes.
Why does it have to happen?
Because not every story can have a bad, sad ending. Like,
That still doesn't make it happy. Well, just for me. It doesn't make me happy.
Because there is a Dawn out there who, without her love, and he was able to go help her and bring her family to her. I know that somewhere out there is a Dawn that gets to spend her whole life with their family.
I
And
guess.
all of her life.
Exactly.
I guess.
Is that the Holopod Dawn? Was that where?
yeah, that was
Yeah.
Holopod Dawn.
Yeah, Holopod Dawn. But so it was really cool is then he brings the energy and he finds Galactus before he's Galactus. He's Gallon, I think. Galan. Okay.
Yeah.
And he manages to get him into the safety pod. So as that universe dies and our universe comes into being, he releases Dawn's energy, so it becomes the first light or the first dawn.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah, and then
Oh my god.
and then he uses that and then he creates the power cosmic in her colors, which you don't realize throughout the whole thing
Yeah.
that it actually is her colors the whole time. And yes, I love that too. So he'll always remember her.
Woo!
I got goosebumps.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And they have a lot of great lines in it too. Like she tells him that you are my time and space, and all these things like that. There's
He calls her Earth Girl.
he
And
tells her Earth Girl, which again was very very Doctor Who-ish. There were a couple lines.
When I finished reading, I did tell Omar, I said, "You're my Nord Rad."
And I was like, he's very bland, but all right, whatever.
He's
You're Nord
wonderful.
Rad, you're
How
my-
dare you?
And I told her, you're my Galactus.
Not the first time.
Oh, man.
When I finished, and I was being genuine.
You were being
because
genuine.
we have adventures, unless it's 2020.
Yeah,
And,
we're starting home. This is our
so
adventure.
that's-
This is our adventure here on in 2020. But yeah, this story it made me cry both
Oh
times
my
I read it.
God.
It's
Yeah.
it's beautiful. It's bittersweet. It's what Madddie said earlier. It's kind of comical and funny and lighthearted in adventures in space. And
Yeah.
I think because it's all the shit we're all dealing with, I think it was much
I
needed.
teared up a little bit. Deal with it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Y'all are lucky. I don't cry on live, but man, I cry all the time at everything at home. You should see me play Last of Us 2. I started it. I was like,
Oh, did you?
Oh,
well,
man.
I'm going to replay that first hour, but I was like, I want to play it without people watching first.
You're like my
Because-
daughter.
I was just like,
Yeah, I don't think we hide it with the kids whenever we're watching a movie like The Fox and the Hound. Fuck that. It's Niagara Falls. Like I'm like I can't especially when that song kicks on when she's leaving him in the forest. Oh my god.
still never seen it.
You will cry.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
You might. I don't know. I didn't. I've never cried at Fox and the Hound, but I think it's from a different. It wasn't. I didn't really watch it when I was younger.
Yeah.
Not
I
like
didn't-
Land Before Time.
It doesn't
Like-
matter though. Like it's a
Mm,
like
I don't know. Well, some of those
Well-
are related to nostalgia.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah,
Right.
it is. I think
It's
so.
like
'cause it's
never
cartoon.
ending story. You cry if you watch as a kid when the horse dies. But
Spoilers!
if you didn't see
Heart
never ending
attacks!
story,
Now
it's
I
like,
will cry.
oh,
Now I'll cry
Yeah.
every time I watch Lord of the Rings. The Return of the King makes me sob like a baby every time. Every time.
I'm pretty sure
like,
you
I just
have
watched
cried at
it.
Disney's Descendants and you don't have
No,
any
I've never
nostalgia
cried.
for that.
It's not sad.
I've only ever cried of happiness.
Yes.
Oh, at Descendants?
Like in the third that
I told you.
I know all the songs. when my husband got like because I proposed to my
God bless you,
husband.
Mushroom Classic.
but-
My wife doesn't understand that movie.
Amanda, did I tell you this?
No, you did
So
So
not.
I was the person that proposed. But then he went and got me a ring later, like months later.
Uh-huh.
And we always joke about that song that Ben sings to Mal.
Oh.
And in the third movie, he proposes.
Does it
and so Elliot brought me the ring and then sang the song and then gave it to me. I was
Are
like,
you-
yes.
Are you
And I
talking
did.
about the Descendants for real and didn't cry at The Fox and the Hound? Of course
I've
it means
never
something
seen
to
it.
you. Oh, okay. Of course it means something to you, though. The
Yeah.
Descendants. And I'm not
I
hating
cry
on
at
that.
everything else, though, so it's fine.
You do, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Did I cry when Optimus Prime died in the movie? Yes, of course I did. What kid didn't? I was actually, I don't think
I think
cried.
I was asleep when that happened.
I hate you. I was in shock when I was a kid. I was like, he's coming back. He'll be back at the end. Just like Cyclops in X-Men 3. Nope. He did not come back. Field of Dreams, dude, thank you. My brother and my wife made fun of me for loving that movie and crying. And I was like, how do y'all not get it? It's a son reconnecting with his dad. Oh. But,
So, what do y'all rate this?
Yeah.
good question. What
I'll
movie
tell you
is
mine. 10 out of 10. Easy. No problem.
10 out of 10.
Love
Amanda,
this book. I wish I owned it now. Never thought I'd say that about
Yeah, it's
Silver
too expensive
Surfer.
to own. Too
It's
expensive.
crazy expensive.
Yeah,
What's
I'm
the
not
recent?
finding. I just looked it up on Amazon. I said, nope. I'll just wait.
If I
Maybe they'll
had
print it.
known.
Yeah, if I had known too. I would give it a 10 out of 10 as well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a very easy read. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I've read it really faster than I anticipated because I knew
Yeah.
how long it was. But yes.
I was nervous about that because I put it off till today. As usual.
As
Of
usual.
course you did.
And so around like 1:30, I was like, okay, my work's pretty much done. Let me just go ahead and read it. And I was done in like an hour. I was like, oh, okay.
God.
It took me way longer. Wow, you're a fast reader.
She is.
It's a very easy read to get through.
But this
so.
should be a TV show, though, for real.
Oh, it would be a fun TV show. I mean, since they can't maybe
I love
not.
this comment from Freddie. It's no wait,
Freddie,
Sammy.
you gotta let it go. I thought it was fine. That's okay.
So Amanda gave it a 10. Maddie gave it a 10. What would you give this book?
9? Please
9?
don't hate me.
Oh, it's
It's okay if you give it a 9. It's
10 out
fine.
of 10.
Fine.
That 10 out of 10 for Melanie is like Big Top Pee-wee. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is a phenomenal movie.
You always hold things up to Pee-wee's Big Adventure as
Which I don't get. Whatever.
You're 7 out of 10 compared to Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Motherfucker, this book got a better rating than I did. All right. For me, I think I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. It's one of I think one of Marvel's modern masterpieces.
I agree with that. It's been a while since I've left a Marvel book feeling like this happy about it.
You don't have to know anything about the character going in.
Happy.
And even if you love the character to begin with, oh my God, Philip has no heart. Philip, give me a 4.
Jeez, Philip.
I would give it a 10 out of 10 if there was a little bit more characterization of Norrin. I wanted to see more of like him as an individual as opposed to reacting to Dawn.
Okay,
that's my pick with it. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
It's your choice.
Yeah.
I gave it 100 out of 10.
Yeah.
Where's my boy Canadian Invincible reviews? He always gives.
He's not here today.
Oh, he's not.
No, he was. He was here earlier. He thought today was Ragnarok, and then I don't know what happened.
And then he bounced.
I thought too. I saw the post and I was like, "What is today?"
Tomorrow's Ragnarok in memory of Joel Schumacher.
No, because we don't want to talk about the Batman films when he just passed away.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace. It just doesn't seem like it's.
No, I think you made the right move on that one.
Have we done Vision on this show?
We haven't. I've read it.
We haven't, but I've read it too. So.
Yeah, that's like required modern Marvel fan reading now. It's like, oh well, you read Vision first.
Listening
Especially
to you
considering that
10. He hasn't read it yet. He hasn't read it. Okay.
No, is it listening to us? He's rating us. I don't know.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I love all these
Back
ratings.
on.
It's great.
Yeah, they could.
Except for you, Philip. What happened, Philip? What happened? No Dark Phoenix talk. I love that comment though.
He's just
I was joking, honestly. I haven't read it. Okay. So it's reader. Yes. It is. So yeah, if you read it and you're watching this later, let us know in the comments down below what you would give it.
Here. This right here.
From Enrino.
Dan Slott always makes the main character a secondary character. Oh, okay.
Honestly, I think that's a good idea from time to time. Well, I think by having that some other person there, you get an interesting peek at that character that you normally wouldn't get. I think a lot of other main superheroes could do well with having a story like that. Like I would like to see more of that for like some main DC characters.
Yeah.
To kind of have them be that secondary, just see how like this other louder personality sort of affects their life.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of his Spider-Man run. I guess he kind of did that.
That's worldwide, right?
Starting with worldwide.
He did.
Superior or Big Time, not Big Time. Whatever.
Because it was fun when I saw like Peter Parker Industries pop up in this, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
Yeah, Lee, it is like Furiosa and Mad Max.
Yeah, I can see that.
Dawn.
I'm trying to think of now I've got my brain turning like what is another Marvel like modern masterpiece that compared to this? Because I mean there's the Silver Age and then the Bronze Age, the Modern Age that Marvel really shines. And then now after I guess all new Marvel, there's few and far in between that could stand on its own, right? Like,
well, I mean, I would say Aaron's Thor's could be something that you are close to it. Aaron's Thor's.
Yeah, I agree.
Aaron's Thor is. Oh no, I guess no. You're right.
I feel like you could read all of that without anything else, and it is very impactful
and it
very emotional. I cried.
Yes,
all the time in that book. Vision. Oh, sorry.
No.
Vision too.
Vision's another one. But Vision, like I said, I have to like step away from that character because I'm familiar with that character, and much like everything else that Tom King has written, if you're familiar with these characters, it's almost like he's writing his own little pocket universe, and I'm okay with that. I did the same thing with Hawkeye and enjoyed that a lot more.
Well, yeah, that's the other one I was going to talk about too, because I think for like me and probably Amanda as well, like if we don't have that background going in, Vision, wonderful, and you know how I feel about Tom King,
exactly. Yes,
Hawkeye loved it. I think
Amanda did too. I was the one that I think I think it's good. I know a lot of people compare.
Oh
it
yeah, well
to
that's
like this.
that's fair.
This is one I think we need to do. Both you and I read it, and
Is that the Spider-Man one?
loved it. Yeah.
Yes,
I would like
that.
to read that.
I would like to read that too.
So it's really cool
Yeah.
because like
It is cool.
it works. Oh, it's like he takes all the stories that you grew up reading of Spider-Man, and then he's making him age in real time. So all these events, like the Clone Saga is mixed in, like the Venom and Kraven storyline are mixed in together. Oh, it works so great. I love that, and that ending
It's really
made me
tight
cry
story.
too.
Yeah. Man, well, next week better be good because it's going to be hard to come back from this.
What's
Yeah.
next week? Old Guard, poor Greg Rucka.
Yep, poor Greg Rucka.
I've read Old Guard already though, so I thought it was pretty good. Now that's a movie,
Not gonna
right?
do this. It's yes, with Charlize Theron. It's coming out in July
July.
to Netflix. Sorry.
I know it's not popular to say, but I like Tom King's Batman. There's
I
nothing wrong
liked
with that.
earlier Tom King's stuff.
I think much like Grant Morrison's new X-Men, to me it was like a roller coaster of up and downs of good stories and story. Like I did not like those first 6 issues, but the 7 through 12 were freaking awesome.
Yeah. I've got a lot of feelings about him, but if anybody ever wants to hear about it, just go back and listen to the watch the Heroes in Crisis episode I did with Lee because that'll lay it all out for you.
Right. The entire Avengers run with Busiek and Perez. I consider those wonderful too. Different type of storytelling though, right? That's more about heroics, and this is more about, I don't know, almost bringing the human into the characters.
Freddie, he already reviewed West Coast Avengers, right?
Yes,
I loved West Coast
I
Avengers.
didn't like it.
I figured.
And I love
Yeah,
Kelly
it's
Thompson. Like everything that Kelly Thompson has written has been so good. And my problem with that book, I think, was maybe it was too many characters. I can't remember. We did a reviews in a flash in it.
We did. It was.
I didn't really dig it.
Maybe I need to read more than just we just read like a first volume of a trade paperback, right?
Yeah,
I think there's
got
only 2,
canceled.
right?
Yeah, I got canceled after 12
Yeah.
issues. But I like her. I think she's one of my favorite modern writers. She's done wonderful stuff that hasn't. Yeah, I think everything I've read by her has been really good. I like her Hawkeye run, and I love her Gambit and Rogue. I thought they were excellent.
Oh yeah, so good.
Miles Morales, Bendis is the best story. Perfects the premise with better character and more emotional resonance. Yeah.
I like your use of big words, Lee.
I like the Roger Stern Spider-Man, but that's just me. I feel like Miles Morales started off really, really damn good.
It kind of ended full flat, yeah.
And that's coming from a guy that doesn't even like Bendis writing. I love the first half of that omnibus. The second half, whenever a certain character came back, and then afterwards.
Didn't we talk about that too? Because we did that on Old
We
Review.
did the omnibus.
Yeah, we did.
review.
Same thing, yeah.
So yeah, we're back next week for Old Guard.
Old Guard.
And then we already have the layout set up for July, so I'll post that.
And I already got
First.
most of the books minus whatever the Patreon
vote.
pick is at the end of the month, yeah.
Man Without
I'm gonna-
Fear, 1993. We did that. We did an old reader, new reader on that. That's Frank Miller's run, which started off as the script to the original Frank Miller Daredevil movie. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of Frank Miller, what I need to read is I think it's the one there's another Netflix movie called Cursed, and it's like based off a young adult novel. I think it's him.
Frank
That did-
Miller?
No, that's Mark Miller. Sorry, wrong one.
That sounds
Too
more
many
like
marks. Yes, yeah. But it's a different telling of King Arthur, and it's I have
I dig that.
yeah, it's what happens if Morgana, I believe, gets the sword, not Arthur.
That's my girl.
Yeah, so and it's that girl who was supposed to play adult Morgan Stark, Catherine Lane.
Holy crap! You
Okay.
just wow.
So
Yeah,
the
I
girl
don't.
from 13 Reasons
yeah.
Why. So I'm excited for that to come out. I need to finish reading the book though.
That's impulsively.
Oh,
bought
yeah.
and done. Titans on me. Please validate. me.
You'll like it.
Yeah, yeah.
There's parts of it I don't like towards the end, but I think overall it's a good story.
I'm trying to think of the arc that I didn't like in that book, and most of it is solid. There's this beautiful annual number 2 that leads into Infinite Crisis. It's wonderful. It's like it's about losing your virginity.
Yeah, that's the one that Omar always brings up when he talks about the Geoff Johns sequence.
That hit me hard.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
When Cassie and Connor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's written beautifully and classic. Like, oh yeah, it's good, or classy rather.
Man, I still haven't found a book that really gets me into Cassie though. It still hasn't happened. I keep waiting. It's the missing puzzle of my Amazon fandom.
Young Justice is solid. The Peter David run.
Yeah. We'll see.
Frank Miller. Never too young to learn about strippers. I was like, Frank Miller, maybe. I don't think so though. Have you guys done the Kick-Ass series?
No.
I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm not opposed to it. I'm not the biggest Mark Miller fan in that book. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we have not done that yet.
The Beast Boy arc is average in the Johns run. The Liefeld villains are forgettable. Liefeld villains aren't even in the omnibus, by the way, because those are written by Gail Simone. And the Beast Boy arc was written in 1999. So it was written before the series even came out. So it's weird that they put it in there. And I'm glad they did, because I would have been pissed if they didn't. But they put it in there like towards issues 20-something. But that's why the Beast Boy arc is really weird. Can I get a beer?
Oh, sorry.
Omar, Last of Us 2 is roughing me up. Man.
Same.
So I'm going to replay Last of Us 1 with my 11-year-old daughter, because I remember playing through that, and it wasn't so rough. And I was asking somebody, maybe it was the Omni Bros, if I could play through Last of Us 2 with my 11-year-old daughter. May have to go through it myself.
Yeah, Tina and I are gonna. I already hit her up. We're gonna play it Wednesday night and then record it and put it up this week. Play through like the first hour and a half for people to see.
And man, you're in 228, no Hobgoblin? Oh, dude, it's, let me see, 234. Once you get to the Juggernaut arc, it is hit after hit. It's the Juggernaut, the kid that collected Spider-Man, the Hobgoblin saga. Oh my god, yeah. That's my Spider-Man of my youth. It's wonderful. Amanda, your daughter looks a lot like
you. I know.
With that face.
Look at that.
I don't really think she realizes that how many people are watching, and then when she's older, I would show her how many people are watching. Yeah.
Or how would you rank Geoff Johns' run based on the characters he did of Titans? Right? I'm sorry. Are we still talking about Titans, Justin? I already have a ranking system for everything Geoff Johns has ever written, because people have asked me way too many times. Not that I mind sharing it over.
Thank you. I think that's what he means. But
and if you guys are looking for some good Geoff Johns content, make sure you're watching Stargirl, because every week it continues to be so good. Every week, it's fantastic.
All his runs. All right, you ready for this? Here we go. Let's get this started. JSA, top tier. Doesn't get better than that. It's amazing. It's perfect. It's one of my top 10 favorite runs of all time. Next up is Green Lantern by Geoff Johns. It's wonderful. I quote that book so much. Infinite Crisis. And then we have his Flash. By the way, Flash, I wish I could... Yeah, Flash. I've been sticking with my guns. Flash is freaking solid. And then we have his Superman run, which is another phenomenal. By the way, each one of these is freaking great. Doesn't mean that one is better than the other, but this is in my head, the way that I've got it. Next up, we have Teen Titans. Then we have Hawkman. His run on Avengers, which no one talks about, is freaking awesome. The Red Zone storyline, oh my God, when Black Panther takes his gloves off and he looks at Red Skull and he's like, I'm going to break that jaw. Because Red Skull's is, Nazi, right? So he's like, get those hands away from me or something like that's what he says. Oh my God, that moment is so wonderful. And he does, like, the next panel is literally him breaking his jaw and his jaw's just falling off. Stargirl. But Stargirl, it's different, right? Because Stargirl was his very first book that he wrote. So it's unfair to put that up there.
And I will say that art style is hard for a lot of people right now to get through. Because a lot of people are going back to read Stars and Stripes because of Stargirl. Like a lot of friends of mine, they're like, ooh.
Yeah, but I mean, but most
Ooh.
comic books you go back and read from there, like
Oh, yeah.
JSA, they're gonna be like that. Aquaman, after Stars and Stripes, I enjoyed Stars and Stripes more. I don't know why. Maybe I love the return of this JSA era. And then the last book that he wrote that I'm not the biggest fan of, but I need to go back and finish is the Doomsday Clock, and that is my Geoff Johns ranking.
Whew.
Joe Johns wrote the first Avengers issue to be censored. Yep. Had to do with Ant-Man and Wasp, and I'll leave it at that.
Freddie, I haven't yet. I need to go pick it up still. It's on my list.
Melanie, how would you rate Geoff Johns? If they were to ask you, if I wasn't here right now, something, God forbid, would have happened to me. They were like, Melanie.
All right, what did you say?
Oh my God.
Flash. Stars and Stripes.
Flash! You didn't get the first one right.
Well, you said it wasn't in any particular order. Now, didn't
But
you?
he said JSA because he loved the JSA.
Good Lord.
But that is my Geoff Johns order, whether you agree or not. It doesn't matter because they're all great. They're all great. We're just waiting on that omnibus of Superman, but we are getting a deluxe hardcover of Last Son, which he co-wrote with Richard Donner. And Richard Donner, of course, is the guy that gave us Superman 1 and 2, the movies. And, of course, Goonies. And Lethal Weapon. But the cool thing is that's how Geoff Johns first started. Like, he was one of his assistants. Like, he went to school to become a screenwriter, and he wrote episodes of Smallville. He wrote the only 2 episodes later on in the season that I watched towards the end. Justice? That was one of them. And then he wrote the JSA episode.
Oh, so there's some good episodes, too.
And, of course, he's one of the big writers on Stargirl.
Which is why it's so good, probably.
Which is why it's so good. So yeah, that's it. Next week we will be back, like the lady said, with Old Guard. Greg Rucka's Old Guard. Yeah. What are you laughing at?
Matthew's comment.
Matthew's comment right here.
But I wasn't tuning it out. I heard he said it wasn't in a particular order.
You were listening, right? I'm gonna quiz you later. Jay says the of course it is. Oh my God. Oh, I love that whole series. I don't think we could do it would be an old reader, new reader month dedicated to just JSA. Omar, how did you collect the most wanted omnis from all social media sites? Did you write a script? No, I used this thing called my brain and my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I literally I was writing down all these. Oh, I'm horrible. I needed to write a script. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, because I'm not good at writing scripts. That's why. Because that's why I was like thinking maybe I should put this on YouTube. Like let them vote, which I will do next time. But I may need some help. So next time I do it, I'll get some volunteers to come and help me because it was a bitch to count all those omnis that people wanted reprinted, and that's just me taking.
What did I count?
You counted the. What did I make you count?
You should ask me then.
It's a lot, baby.
Okay.
It's a lot.
You just needed to post a link to like a
Google form.
Yes, and let that people click.
Yeah.
No one can edit. Are you crazy? They'll freaking hack that shit up. We'll have
a survey monkey. You could do the
come on.
Come on.
I don't know what survey monkey is.
But Awesome Gamer, we will be live tomorrow doing a flip episode of Was It Really That Good? And we're going to look at Thor Ragnarok and see, is it really as great as everyone says it is?
It is.
And I'm expecting Justin.
And Justin is wrong. Because it's one of the best ones. I love
hates that movie. I love it.
That movie. It's my second favorite. Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh man.
Thor Ragnarok.
Justin doesn't like that one either.
Yeah, Justin
because you don't like fun, Justin.
He doesn't like fun in his movies. Oh, look, Jack's already starting. We're not even reviewing the movie yet.
Listen, Jack just spends the whole time trolling on here.
Trolling on, yes.
I see you, Jack.
But he's a good, kind-hearted troller, though. I've seen him. He's not that bad, right? He's a good guy. Yeah, I don't know.
Sean,
I think he was 16 last week.
Yeah, he was. He was 16. Or he is. Maddie's list is very suspect.
Those are my favorites, though. I think they're very fun.
Okay, I mean, I would,
Oh yeah, my taste is interesting. I will definitely say that.
What would your favorite Marvel movie be, Melanie?
I really enjoyed Thor Ragnarok.
Would you say it's your favorite?
I think maybe Avengers.
Age of Ultron?
No, Endgame.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like
so
that
like
game?
Yes, I like
the
it.
Thor.
story arc.
Yeah. And just everything coming to a head. Yeah. But yeah, I like Thor Ragnarok, and I agree, Madddie. Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I like the first one better than the second one.
Why are you censoring yourself today? Yesterday it was bitches from different things, and now we're censored. Oh, where's the manga, my friends?
I mean,
Madddie has a whole month, and she picked no manga, right? Or did you?
I did not pick any manga.
You did not know.
Why
I
not?
gave myself a theme and I stuck to it.
Good
It's
for
really
you.
If you guys want manga reviews, I'll be doing a manga review day of Fangirls sometime next month. Reading Rose of Versailles, No Longer Human, and Spy Family.
I want to read Rose of Versailles.
I've never read. I've watched some of the anime, and I have that pachinko machine in my house.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see if it actually is good, or if it's. I don't
I
know.
watched Omar's video on it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Pretty old reader, new reader, Berserk. Yeah, when Volume 5 comes out, when is that? July? Madddie, we're gonna have to move one of your days. I'm sorry.
No.
Slam Dunk is the bee's knees.
I've been given my month. I've already curated it. I have chosen guests
And I already purchased the
to
book.
join us.
We are not changing this.
Okay, we're not changing it. Sorry. Hi, all. What's up, Delusionals Arcade? Hey, who's joining us? Are they special guests? Like, who's?
Yes. So the
Who's-
first week is Superman Smashes the Klan and Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. It's a two-parter. And Lee, who's in the chat, is going to join us. He was in my
Heroes in Crisis.
Heroes in Crisis video.
Yeah.
Then on the 14th is Ironheart by Eve Ewing. And that'll be with Tina and Chris are going to join.
Okay.
Great.
I know those two.
Yeah. On the 21st is Snapdragon. And my friend Jasmine, Jazz the Bat Cosplay, is going to join. She's big into comic books. She's cosplayed like Big Barda, Thunder, who's the daughter of Thor and Storm. She's phenomenal and wonderful. So she's joining for that. And then the 27th for the Patreon vote, the two hosts of the Is This Adulting podcast are going to join us.
The podcast you were on.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What are the choices for the Patreon vote?
The choices, although I'm thinking about changing one of them, I'm not sure, is Monstrous, Abbott, and Infidel. Although I'm half tempted to switch Monstrous with Upgrade Soul.
Yes. I have Monstrous. Not
I
that
do
that
too.
matters. And I have Infidel. Not that that matters, but yeah. Good.
She is a very tall young lady. She's very tall.
How tall is she?
She looks like she's a foot taller than me when I shot pictures of her and her. Thunder
Now that she's
cosplay.
sitting down, she's gonna be the same height. So I hope he doesn't not standing up. Monstrous deserves the vote.
Okay, well, I can leave Monstrous. I can
Patreon.
I can save Upgrade Soul to another time, but
I know you've been wanting me to read it forever, and I said I would. But if
Yeah.
you force me to read it, I'll read it.
it's hard because I also I want to talk about the book so bad, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone ever. So it's rough.
Wait a minute. That's a good question.
Yeah, well, it should be.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Okay, good, because I don't
give
have
her
to
a break.
Yeah. Amanda, Madddie, Melanie, better than Omar. Thank you, Jack. That should be a T-shirt.
Jack.
I'm pretty sure that's a family game whenever I get together with these people.
Sounds about right.
Lionheart, I did not this time.
Yes, I did hear her clicking away. I was curious if she was too.
Yeah, she was clicking pretty hard on those.
I'm so sorry. I forgot my mic is right here. That's
was
my
like,
bad. I'm used to being right here.
Like you were writing an angry email to Target.
Oh man, I feel so bad because I have my mic right here. It's right next to my keyboard. I'm not used to that yet because I used to just only do my headset.
Yes.
And so I forget that I have this like clinky ass keyboard, which is really cool looking.
Yes.
But yeah, we're gonna. Oh man, everybody in the chat, read Chew, please. Omar let me borrow his copies and.
Oh yeah, that's one of my brother's favorite comics. It's wonderful.
Chef's Kiss. It's beautiful.
Chef's Kiss.
They're coming back. Layman and Gildy.
Oh, it's so good. Amanda, read Chew. Oh my god.
I know. I think I've read the first few.
It's a little gory, but I think it's not too bad.
No, I mean, it's not. I've read the first few issues because I thought it was a very interesting idea. So
I know where Omar.
That's not
I was thinking Omni. Where Omar's gunsuit is.
I have a
he is a
gun
gunsuit.
Oh wait, are you guys talking about the Nightwing suit?
No,
No, you talking about.
they're
My
just
gun.
an actual gun suit.
If we review any Teen Titans or Titans, will you wear your Nightwing? Can we all wear our Titans costumes on the?
I still got the. I still have the what's it called?
I'll wear Donna Troy. Amanda will wear Raven. You can wear your Nightwing.
I do have that. Yes, and the Nightwing costume. So okay, Maddy.
Yes.
Yay.
Is Spider-Man by David Michelini and Eric Larson worth picking up? If only for the return and the revenge of the Sinister Six. Oh man, those are so awesome. But yeah, pick it up. It's a follow-up to the David Michelini, sorry. Eric Larson taught me how to pronounce his name. Michelini, Todd McFarlane omnibus. Hoity-toity, he was on the show.
At least I didn't say Michelin.
Maddie hold Omar's books for as long as he held your books. How long? There was a pandemic, Lionheart. Love Mike Allred's artwork, particularly with Peter Milligan. You're talking about X-Force and Ecstatics. Yes, that was fun. He also did iZombie, which is what the TV series is based on. I don't know if y'all have seen the TV show.
Oh, I love the TV show. I heard that the comic wasn't as good.
It was. I don't know. I don't like the TV show. The comic book was all right. I have fun.
Well, the TV show is directed by Rob Thomas, who did Veronica Mars, which is like absolutely my kind of thing. So I ate that up.
Did you give her the wedding picture yet?
Okay, so let me tell you why they're not, Matthew.
Can I just mail it?
You can.
Thank
No,
you.
Maddie and I have decided to have a party together. It's called the 10-foot away yelling at each other party with Tina, and we're all going to yell at each other from July 3rd. Or, I don't know, I can't remember. One of them made up a date. But anyway, the reason I did it, Matthew, and this is legit, it was freaking pouring rain. And I would rather my hardcovers of Chew get drenched than your wonderful picture that you gave her for your wedding. So that's why I kept it out of the box. So, in other words, face. That's why I did it. All right?
Okay.
You owe me an apology. Well, everybody owes me an apology.
Okay, we're sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry as ever born.
Wow, that's my apology. Wait, who's tall? Tall girl has my attention. Oh, I mean, you missed it. Like one of Maddie's friends.
She will be here on July 21st.
Your dog.
You can look up. She's Jazz the Bat cosplay. She's awesome.
Your dog is passed the hell out behind you.
Oh, Miss.
Yes.
I think I passed out. Oh, we will come.
Come here. No. Say hi to everybody. Come here.
When is part 2 of the favorite writers countdown? I forgot. Me too. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, look at that kid's face. Oh, he was so comfortable. Part 2.
Miss, do you want us to review Battle Pug?
Oh, that'd be cute if you had him.
We can review Battle Pug just for you by Mike Norton. Isn't that right?
Omar always forgets, but don't forget to Hulk smash that like button. Thank you, Hugo, for doing our job. Omar's the oldest one here. Probably.
True.
Yeah. I was drinking long before any of them. Keep up the good work. Love this channel. Love you too, Delusional Arcade, who works on arcade machines, old school style, and makes videos. Freaking awesome. Late from watching Stargirl. What up? What up?
Dat Boy Steve. I saw your tweet about it.
Omar, nothing, by the way.
Oh my goodness, I can
Giving him
hear
crap.
Moose right now.
Sorry, so
I'm
loud. I'm sorry, baby. You can go back down.
Melanie, would you do the honors? This is so random, but you're the biggest Phil Collins fan I know.
Phil Collins?
Billy Collins.
That's what she
still
calls
has my
him.
Heart.
Philly Collins, that's cute.
We're on a nickname basis.
He doesn't know it yet because you would be a stalker. Like that's the way he would see you.
No, John Linnell is who I stalk. 100%.
Oh, okay. I'm older than you, Omar. Okay. Thank you, Brian.
There we go.
There we go. I knew there was one out there. I love puggy grunts. Is that what the names are called? Puggy grunts?
They're
Can
called.
be.
Oh, Amanda.
I don't know. My Instagram doesn't get as much love.
Linden.
What does that mean? Oh, look at Lyndon's making faces.
She almost fell back.
Omar's the oldest, so he is the closest to Lord and Savior.
This
Is that? Are you saying like in death? Like what do we mean? Because I go to church?
in his heart?
Come on. What's happening here? I'm older than you, Omar. Inside,
Are you playing peekaboo with Madddie right now?
I have
faces.
heart of a 15-year-old. There we go. That's a little more kid friendly. Breast. What a gentleman.
Gentlemen.
I'm a big fan of your show. Well, thank you so much. 42 years old.
You and Madddie, what are you doing?
That is the answer to all life in the universe. And that is how old I am.
There you go.
42.
That is fake. Well,
I think that was a concert I went to. That might have been a concert. I'm older, but we were in high school at the same time. So we are, yeah, me and Phil, man, back to Arby's, smoking doobies. But really? Oh, you meant different high schools. Got you, Phil.
I was going to say, what?
Omar's old enough to be my grandfather, but Omar's young at heart. I am. And because Lyndon's here, I will refrain from telling jokes.
well, she can't hear
Is she
anything.
the Zuko toy?
Yeah, that's Zuko. Linda, you
Man,
want the toy?
that's dope.
Well, it's technically mommy's, but she was playing.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
Uh,
There's Prince Zuko on his way
49. Dude,
to
that's
being with
what-
Katara, the love of his life.
that is the love of his life. Ah!
Peter, 60s are the new 30s is what J-Lo has taught me. So you're fine, man.
J-Lo's not 60 yet.
Shut up, Amanda.
She's like late 40s. Or just turned 50.
No, she just turned 50. She looks amazing.
Yeah.
You say doobies? You are old. Thanks, Matthew. That's where your drawing is going.
Yeah. Yeah, but Linda can't hear you because she doesn't have. I have my mic. Man, now the jokes come out.
There we go. There's the old jokes. There we go. Jib Sutara got my NMC pink.
Yeah.
That's right.
We don't disappoint.
Oh,
We
man.
don't disappoint. All these
That boy
people are
Steve is
old.
younger than me.
Glad I'm only 26. Good for you. Guess
Good for
what?
you,
Our
Jeff
car
Steve.
insurance is lower than yours. You know what? So eat it, that boy Steve.
So true.
My,
Yeah, but he's old enough to be on his parents' insurance. I remember that year. That was a good
I
year.
forgot about that. Good
And
call.
he can still be on the medical insurance. Is that the
Yeah.
insurance you're talking
You're
about?
not making,
Yeah.
you're not making my argument better. 45 here, Spidey fan. That's right. That's what's
I
up.
fan too.
So are you. You're a big Spidey. You had a crush on Spidey since middle school.
I did.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Maddie?
Maddie, go ahead and sign us
Now
off.
let me
Let
let me
Your
reel this
husband has to
in.
deal with the wrap it up sound when he's in the middle of a story. And she's like, all right, Elliot. I get it. You're funny.
That's true. You've seen it. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you like this video. Subscribe to future videos. Turn on that notification button. If you're checking this out later, comment down below what you thought about Silver Surfer by Dan Slott. If you have any recommendations for anything similar to that, you can always drop that down below also. And we will be joining you all again next week with Old Guard by Greg Rucka. Same time, same place. And, oh, I'm sorry. I can't. He's too heavy.
Yeah.
And we do a Patreon through which you can vote for our monthly pick. So it's not too late to go ahead and join your Patreon so that we can vote for next month's. And, you know, we've Redbubble and stuff. And I think Andrew might have made it so we can have near mint condition masks. So if you want to like...
He said they're not breathable. Nope, that's not what he said. He said they're not for the pandemic use.
They're just...
I don't know why you would use them.
Then why would you?
I don't know.
Never mind. So don't buy a mask, but buy like a hoodie or something.
Buy a
or like a shirt.
Yeah, buy
whatever. Get you a sticker or something. Rep us out in the world. Anyways. So we have a good night. Thank you all for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you next week. And some of you don't forget to check in tomorrow for their review of Thor Ragnarok.
Yes. Oh, wait. DBZ also. What did you say, DBZ? Don't forget.
Stuff and things?
Oh.
Oh.
Thank you, DBZ Eldar.
I wasn't aware about that.
And real quick, I agree. Odin is 100% daddy. Thanks, Lee.
Okay.
What does that mean?
He's sexy. He's sexy old
sexy.
man. Sexy old man.
Oh, well, let me tell you about some sexy old men.
No, that's where
Catch us next time.